Hey everyone. Cool thing about Savage Worlds is there's so many settings, so many setting rules that do cool things, add to the game. One of them comes from Deadlands, the Weird West. You've probably heard about it, you've probably used it when you got some gunslingers, but you know what? It can be used for so much more and so many other game types and settings. So what are we talking about? We're talking about Duelin. Savage Worlds, one of the best games today. Hey everyone, it's Carl with Tabletop Tango. Look at the bubbles, do the stuff. We'd love your support. We'd love comments. We'd love email. We'd love all that good stuff that helps us do what we're doing on the channel because it's a lot of fun. And I want to be able to buy things like Deadlands, the Weird West books so that I can read them and learn and share and all that good stuff. So anyway, what do I want to talk about today? Well, I said it. I want to talk about Duelin. It's a setting rule from Savage Worlds Deadlands, the Weird West, and you may think of it only as something you can do with a couple of gunslingers sitting out at high noon, trying to take each other out. But it's really good for any kind of mano-a-mano, one-on-one kind of situation where you want to add some tension and make it kind of interesting. So it could be your Space Marine going against the Xenomorph in that one last showdown. It could be your secret agent going against the, evil agent on the other side who's about to have their dastardly plan come to fruition. It could even be as two samurais going at it. Why does it have to be a gun battle? It could be two samurais who are fighting for their honor. So it could be a lot of different things. So how do we do dueling? Well, dueling is a very simple mechanic. It's very straightforward, and it's a lot of fun to do. So let's talk about a duel. So a duel happens in exactly 3 rounds. So just like a dramatic task, it has a certain distance of time, a length, goes into 3 rounds. So at the beginning, each player is dealt a hold card, which they keep secret. It's down, only they know what it is, and that's going to determine the order at the end of the duel. And there's ways of getting additional hold cards. Now, in Deadlands, there's Edge that allows you to get more hold cards because you're a gunslinger and that's what you do. So you don't really have that in other settings. So our samurais going after each other, they're probably not going to be that in your game to do that. So you might want to allow players to spend a penny up front to get another hold card. Maybe you let somebody who's got the quick edge get an additional hold card. So you can do some house rules around that to kind of make it so there's more cards in play. But you can also get cards by doing tests and things like that during the round. So let's talk about that. So the first and second rounds, you deal action cards, and you deal action cards to anybody involved. So there might be bystanders on each side. So there's the 2 participants, and they may have bystanders working with them who also get an action card. Kind of an aside, those who are not participating in the duel, they generally are going to do things like support to give bonuses because in the book, Deadlands, the Weird West, it talks about how that's totally frowned upon to mess with the opponent. You might be disqualified, whatever that means. You might be, ridiculed, you lose face, that kind of thing. But if you're doing something in a different setting, like a sci-fi setting or something against a xenomorph, maybe you're going to allow it. Allow the players to do the players who would normally do support, who are bystanders, to do something in addition and maybe do some testing. That's up to you. It's a balance problem, but if you've got multiple participants on both sides, maybe it's something you want to allow. So you go in order. The participants in the duel, they can do a test against their opponent. So you can taunt, you can intimidate, you can do something else. Whatever you define. If you do a test against your opponent and you succeed, they're going to be distracted or vulnerable till just like normal. But that's going to be till the 3rd round. So if you do in the 1st round, they're still going to be vulnerable, still be distracted in the 3rd round. If you get a raise on your test, you get another hold card. Or you can take one of the hold cards from your opponent and have them discard it. So that's a way to get additional cards in your hand or kind of prune down the cards that your opponent has. I think I'd rather just get another card in my hand. I think it'd be more fun to have more hold cards, but that's just me. So that's what the first 2 rounds are all about. You're kind of jockeying for position. You're trying to get your opponent kind of frazzled. You're trying to taunt them or intimidate them, make them going to not do as well. And you're trying to get more cards so that you can go first when the time's right. So in the 3rd round, it happens simultaneously. No action cards are dealt. it's assumed that this action happens the same. You know, they're both drawing their weapons at the exact same time to strike down their opponent. You take the whole card of your choice, and that turns into the action card of your round when you get to go. So you've got your hand, and you're looking for the top card, probably the highest card, so that you can play that card. So that defines who goes first, who goes second. Now, you don't have to go first if you don't want to. You can go on hold like normal. So you're the honorable man, and you're going to let your opponent draw first and then take them out. Or you're just, I'm the best, so I'm going to allow them to try to make the first move, whatever the reason is. Maybe you are that agent, NCIS agent with the bad guy, and you're giving them a chance to surrender. And if they don't draw, great. That's awesome. But if they do draw, you're going to then take them out. And so you can interrupt the action just like anything else when you go on hold. So you can go on hold, that other player can take an action or try to take an action or shoot you, and you can interrupt that action and then take your shot. So action happens, you shoot, you attack, you do whatever. And so then we talk about damage. Damage is done like normal. As you would expect, except for if you've got a hole card, and read here, if the attacker has more hold cards higher than the foe's action card, they get an additional d6 of damage. So what that means is, let's say my hold card was a 5, your hold card was a jack, and you had another one of a 10. Well, now you're going to get an extra d6 of damage because your 10's higher than my, what did I say, 5? So that's how you get some additional bonus damage in your attack. Cool thing about duels is there's no soaking. You're going mano a mano. You're attacking. You don't get soak rolls. So it's a great way of making a high stakes. You're a space marine. You're staring down the xenomorph. It's got acid breath or whatever, acid spit, and who's going to react first? And if you get hit, you might be just taken out. So it's kind of cool that dueling has no soaking of wounds. So that's very cool. So I find that really fun. So let's talk about an example. So let's go with our NCIS agent. You know, he's going against the bad guys, finally tracks them down in the, let's say, a parking garage. Last minute, you know, he's comes around a corner, the opponent's there, you know, it's like, you're not going to get me, you're not going to take me. And so you decide, instead of just do a normal combat where they go shoot you, you're going to do a duel. So deal the whole cards. Let's say our agent gets a 5 and a suspect gets a 10. Now, they don't know, remember, each other's cards, but the suspect right now has the upper hand when it comes time to actually do the final shot. So the first round, let's say the bad guy, he gets an ace and the agent gets a queen. So the bad guy gets to go first. I'm gonna say that the agent also has a partner, and so that partner also was also given an action card. So let's say the partner's got a 5 or something like that. So bad guy gets to go first, and he decides he's going to test, and so he's going to taunt. He's going to use taunt to taunt the NCS agent, saying, you know, my plan's already in effect. It's already happening. You're too late. You're never going to stop it. You're such a loser, you know, copper, whatever, right? And so let's say roll, and he has a taunt that's successful. Not a raise, just successful. So now he decides to make the NCIS agent distracted, so that when the time comes that the agent does shoot at him, maybe he's going to miss. So that's what he does. So then the NCIS agent goes first next, and maybe he taunts. And let's say he taunts, or not taunts, but maybe he tries to use persuasion or something like that, and say, hey, you really should give up. Don't take your own life. It's not worth it. You really should do that. And so you use your persuasion in a test. Yeah, you can use persuasion in a test. Some people will say it's hard to do, but in this case, it might work. It makes sense. And so the game master might allow it. And so let's say he gets a raise. He really does well. He gets a hold card. Let's say his hold card's a queen now. So now he's in a better spot. And so that's how the first round goes. The bystander is there. He's got the lower card, so he really couldn't do anything this round to kind of affect what was going on. So Question is, can he hold to go around to the top of the next order, or does he have to actually go? Well, I don't know. Reading the book, it's not precisely spelled out, but it's, it's an action card. It's round. So I'd say, yeah, let's say he can go on hold. So he goes on hold up to the top in the next round. So then we deal cards. And let's say, in this case, the bad guy still gets to go before the agent, but since the partner held across, the partner now decides he's going to go first, and he's going to support his partner and do a support roll. He rolls good. He gives his partner a +2. He gets a raise, gives his partner a +2. Great. Bad guy goes, maybe tests again. Maybe he succeeds, maybe he doesn't. Then the partner goes, he's got a +2. He tests again. Let's say that he is successful, and so now he makes the bad guy vulnerable so that he can, when the time comes, if he needs to shoot him down, he gets that bonus. So there you go, a couple of rounds. Then the third round, they flip him over. Remember, our agent has a higher card now. I think he said he had a queen or a jack or something. And so he's higher now than the 10 of the bad guy. And so he gets to go first. But he's an NCIS agent. So he decides, going to give him the option. Maybe he'll give up. We'll see. But no, bad guy's going to take a shot. Agent decides to interrupt the action. We do that opposed athletics check. We'll see who wins. And then you know what? It happens. Let's say the bad guy, he doesn't get his shot off. He gets interrupted. NCS guy takes the shot. He hits him hard, does a lot of damage. Bad guy can't soak. He's got a couple wounds now, laying on the ground. And you can do battle and have it ensue naturally, or you can use the fact of how that worked to narratively make something interesting go on. Maybe the bad guy is going to give up now that he's got 2 wounds. He's decided now's the time to take him up on that offer to give up, right? So dueling is cool. It's kind of like a dramatic task a little bit, but it's absolutely cool, and it's something that you should take advantage of in games other than just Old West gunslingers standing in the middle of a dusty street. You can use it for so much more. It's a lot of fun, adds tension. Maybe you don't use it for the big bad guy fight where there's all the players want to be involved, but maybe one of the players is now against one of the lieutenants. You see that in movies all the time, right? There's the lower lieutenants that people go against in order to get to the big boss. Maybe that's a great time to do a duel because it adds a lot of tension. It's kind of fun. And you get to play more with cards, and who doesn't love that, right? So anyway, I'm Carl with Tabletop Tango. Hope you enjoyed it. Look at the bubbles, do the stuff. We'd love your support, comments. Please subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic. And we'll catch you next time. Savage World, one of the best games today. Savage World, Benny.